The chat saying that you can't pull a black woman.
I'll say, why would I? You could have them, bro. They'll sit there and they'll say, oh, you can't handle me. And I'll say, why the should I? We tell women that they can kind of live their life the way that they want, and there's going to be a good man at the end waiting for them. We have an entire society that tells women, hey, don't do anything for the express consent for a man. You need to put yourself first, not knowing that if you actually want to keep a guy first, you actually have to put yourself second. This is why I tell guys all the time, you got to be the leader, and the girl's got to like you more than you like her. Because since women are the ones used to being pursued, the only time they're going to respect the man is when they're finally pursuing, because they never do that.
Do you think that it's best that guys get burned early? Because it seems like once guys get resources and get money, that it really becomes an issue.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if they learn that.
I think early. Once you get money and resources, then she's playing for keeps. Like this girl right now going after Shannon Sharp, she's playing for keeps. So it's like, and they have an incentive to do so. When you're broke and you're a nobody, like, are they incentivized to go after you as hard? Probably not. Then maybe they'll embarrass you in the neighborhood. Oh yeah, weirdo, blah, blah, blah. That's cool. You can move and be fine. But when you got some money and your resources, and this is why it's so bad for young guys. Oh, dude, the young guys that like aren't red pill aware and get some money and status, they get cooked the worst. It's better for you to almost like be broke, make these mistakes as you're coming up, then get the money, understand women, and then you're in a much better position because then you can mitigate the risk, or you already know how to deal with certain women off of how they come at you. You're like, oh yeah, this girl's a thought, I gotta deal with her this way. Okay, this girl, I can maybe let her in a little bit, but like you get that wisdom from failing. You almost gotta fail when you're broke because you kind of see how you see the real side of females. Like when you don't have all your stuff together, you don't have money like that yet, you really get to see like the dark side of hypergamy. And I think men need to be exposed to that to see how callous and how cold women can really be when they're not interested in you. Because I truly think like women are much more cold-blooded than men are, way more, especially when they're not interested. Their interest in men drop off precipitously way faster. They're more likely to end relationships. They're more likely to break your heart without you even knowing about it because they broke up with you 6 months. They've already been plotting the breakup. So like with women, I think men need to experience that because this kind of insulates you from making those mistakes later on when it's going to cost you significantly more money.
I mean, I agree with everything you said. In fact, to the extent that NBA players have lessons. Now, I think most athletes, but I'm thinking even NFL players, football players, but for NBA players, apparently, when they go into the league, they have lessons or courses. They take, some kind of classes where they teach them how to avoid women who are predators who just want them for their money. Now, they still, some of them, like, Ant-Man, they go on to have babies with different women and take them for child support. But apparently, they have a class where they teach these athletes that, hey, listen, this is the type of woman to avoid. She just wants you for the money. She wants you for child support. She wants to use you for the money. They actually teach them. So I agree with him. Most guys only learn, they don't have the privilege of having a class. But imagine if in high school, if all men in high school were taught what could go wrong if you get with the wrong woman. You see how they teach sex education in high school? That, hey, listen, if you have unprotected sex, this could happen, A, B, C, D. I wish they could teach men in high school what goes wrong if you have money or if you have no money, but what goes wrong if you deal with the wrong woman, and how women could actually, destroy a man's life just by dealing with the wrong woman.
What do you say about the chat saying that you can't pull a black woman?
I'll say, why would I?
Ooh.
Why would I? You could have them, bro.
Why wouldn't you?
They could have them, man. I'm not competing for LaQuisha. You guys can have them.
Well, every black woman ain't LaQuisha. What you mean?
Look, I say that's look, I'm fucking around. But the when they say dumb shit like that, or you can't pull a black woman, like that's just like cope a lot of the times because they're saying what that really. Let me decode the stupidity for you. When people say dumb shit like that, translation, you're not willing to tolerate the bad behavior that naturally comes with a lot of black women. Because let's be honest, let's deal with the stereotypes here, right? I'm an open racist towards everybody. Let's deal with the black stereotypes. Black women are fat, loud, crass, annoying, have attitudes, and they don't respect male authority. There's a bunch of reasons for this, but I'll go over simply. The average black woman weighs 187 pounds. A lot of them grow up in a single mother household where they're told every single day, niggas ain't shit. There is no patriarch in the family a lot of the times. This is just what goes on. Then when you listen to the rap music, what are they saying? Fuck niggas, get money, blah, blah, blah. It's just shitting on black men all day. And then the black men that are in their life a lot of the times, not every single time, but a lot of the times, they're criminals, they're fathers that weren't there, they're crooks. And it's just like a never-ending cycle where there's no real patriarch in the household. And then on top of that, you know, a lot of black women grow up without men in the house. They end up becoming extremely masculine. Now, this is fantastic when it comes to survival, getting a job, making your way through life. But this is terrible when it comes to attracting masculine men. Masculine men don't want masculine women in return. That would make you probably more than likely gay if you're attracted to yourself, right? And I always use the analogy because whenever
That's your lane, Molly.
because here's the thing with black women, right? They'll sit there and they'll say, "Oh, you can't handle me." And I'll say, why the fuck should I? Because let me tell you this. If you went up to a black woman and you said, hey, look, I like to wear heels on Saturdays, she'll be like, ew, what the fuck? She'd curve you. Rightfully so. That's weird. But why is it that we're supposed to accept masculine black women when they would never accept feminine black men? They never would. So why the hell should I accept a woman that behaves like a man when she would never accept me for behaving like a woman? And this is the insane double standard where they'll sit there and say, you need to accept me the way that I come, but women never accept us the way that we come. We have to self-improve. Why don't they have to self-improve? So
I mean, he's cooking. I know you guys don't want me to post the video, but I gotta give my own opinion as well, because so many times, and you obviously social media. The good thing about social media, it showcases exactly how massive groups of people think without having to meet them in person. But the whole "you can't handle me" is like a phrase. I've seen it on Pop the Balloon, or you can't handle a woman who's ABCD, or you can't handle an independent woman, or you can't handle ABCD. But it's like, no, baby, I just want to have a normal relationship with you. I don't want you to handle me. I don't want to have to handle you. Can we just be cool, nice? Can you just be soft? You know, can we just have a good conversation, a good relationship without me handling you and you having to handle me? Imagine men were saying, oh, you can't handle me. Or you can't handle that I'm soft. Or you can't handle a man who doesn't pay your bills. Imagine how women would go crazy if men were talking like them. But it's like, no, I don't want to handle you. I don't want to have to deal with your bad behavior. Myron is cooking. Let's go. And the ladies are agreeing. Like, no woman, usually I'm used to the women firing back and complaining and arguing, but clearly the ladies on the panel are different. Shout out to Anton Daniels for the ladies on the panel. They are not even going back and forth. They're just listening.
So when they say dumb shit like that, saying, oh, you can't handle a black woman, or why don't you date them? What that really means is, why are you not dealing with the stereotypical, loud, obnoxious, crass, rude black woman? And I'm saying no,
Bad
because
behavior.
I don't want to date myself. So if I've dated black women before that are polite, feminine, not fat, respectful, speak proper English, you know, they say ask instead of ax, like all these things. And that's what I like. So if I'm going to be around that, great. I don't really care about skin color like that. I have a preference. It just so happens that a lot of the times black women don't adhere to these preferences because they're indoctrinated to have this mindset of, let me challenge a man, let me be rambunctious, let me go ahead and chase a career and basically be the man that I want to get. And I'm not with that.
Yeah, the whole let me challenge a man. Actually, I've seen some ladies like, don't you want a woman who challenges you? So you mean to tell me you want me to go out work 60, 70 hours a week and then come home for you to challenge me about something, about whatever it is? No. I want to come home with you excited to see me, jump on me, like, baby, how was your day? Smile, I got a hot meal ready for you. But you want to like, I don't want you to challenge me. The world is always challenging me every single day. Challenges come my way in the world. I don't want the woman I lay next to challenge me. That sounds crazy, but apparently they want to challenge men. It's like, it's not, so most guys are not going to deal with that. That's why some guys leave work, come home, stay in their cars outside the house, stay in the car for couple hours just for the peace, because he knows as soon as he walks in the door in the house, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be someone waiting to challenge him.
That's fair.
How do you feel about that, Kim?
I agree with a lot of what he said. I've said before, I don't think that, just in general, we'll even speak on black women because that's who he's talking about. I don't think that black women are taught to be wives. Whereas, you know, this black woman, if she's going to college to get her degree, these white girls were taught to be wives. They were taught to look for a man to take care of them. They were taught to look for husbands. They're going to college to look for a husband. They're going to be more submissive. They're going to be more passive because they're playing the long game.
And you want to hear something crazy too? You know what's funny? The white girls be the biggest hoes. I be warning people with these college-educated white girls. Like, if they join a sorority and shit like that, I tell guys all the time, like, bro, you also don't want to wife up a whore. So, like, what ends up happening a lot of times with black women, because black women are very narrow in what they like a lot of times. They prefer black men overwhelmingly. But the problem on the black male side is black men will take whatever, right? So that's kind of the issue.
Yeah, men, not even just, okay, black men in particular, will go wherever it's easy, wherever they find peace, wherever they are celebrated. You know that saying, wherever they are allowed to go, they will go.
Where you run into a problem with a lot of black women. Also, black women tend to favor looks a lot more than other races. Which is, I guess, maybe a masculine trait. But black women tend to be more interested in the way that they dress, the way they conduct themselves, the way they look, etc. Like, it's very interesting how I've noticed that with black women, they tend to be the race that is very interested in the way a man looks, which is fine. You can have your preferences. But what the problem with that is, it dilutes your marketplace of men that you are going to open yourself up to. And when black women go to college and they educate themselves, etc., they kind of bring that percentage down even more so as they climb up the ranks. But like with white girls, white girls, you're right. They go to college. They're looking for a husband while they're there in school a lot of times, because a lot of times they don't even want to work their shitty ass, HR job that they end up getting. But they end up being hoes a lot of the times, if we're going to be honest. So that's another thing that I tell guys to watch out for when it comes to the white girls, because every every group of women has their stereotypes that guys got to look out for.
Kerry, what do you think? Kerry, what do you think of?
I mean, like I said, I'm surprised that ladies are arguing with him, because if you guys have watched him on his podcast, 99.9% the women are always arguing with him. So to see a panel of black women arguing with everything Myron is saying, it's like life changing. It's like history in the making.
About the narrative between black, white cultural norms, black women not necessarily being taught to look for husbands, all of that type of stuff. What do you think about everything that's being communicated in a general sense?
I agree with a lot of what he just said.